Energy. Why do you need energy? Make life. Inspire you. Give you passion. Where do you get your energy from? Food? But there does come a point where the food becomes negative energy as well. But food certainly. Where else? Sorry? Enough rest. Now that's important, rest. Rest is important. But to have rest, you need to have done something first. Otherwise all it becomes is rest for the sake of rest. You need to exercise. You need to push yourself outside your comfort zone and recover. And it's during the recovery period. And that's a key lesson from sport. You know, if you look at top athletes, the gains they make isn't while they train. The gains they make are when they're actually resting on the recovery cycle, when they're on the recovery cycle. Now, we've done quite a lot of research into this and found that typically if you look in the working environment, in the sporting environment, what tends to happen is this. We start off training for our magical moment or our moment of truth, depending on what book you're reading. But what that magical moment is the moment at which we have to perform. You know, if you look at it, if you take a Saturday afternoon at Old Trafford, the team comes out in front of 76,000 people live and in front of about 500 million people all over the world. You have to deliver. You know, if you're one of 22 people on that pitch, you can't hide. You have to deliver. That's what you're training for. Then after that, during the recovery, you start thinking about the next activity. In business, what tends to happen is this. We come to work in the morning on a Monday and we're firefighting all the way through till Friday. No recovery and there's no magical moment. In the workplace, where is that magical moment? Where is it when we have to perform? For yourselves, when do you have to perform as students? Exams? Assignments? You know, maybe some of you need to feel that you need to perform when you're in the classroom. You know, you need to show that you're the best. It's a mental attitude, you know, and to do that, this period is absolutely crucial. One of the things that we've been spending quite a lot of time doing from a consulting basis is looking at when we go into companies, how do we create this? You know, how do we create this situation where people are still doing activities that are work related, but they're training as we do it? What kind of things could we do? What do you think we do to help create that profile within the workplace? So they're still productive, but training based. What do you think we might do?
Just set objectives.
You would set objectives?
You look for new ways to do
yeah, but how would you implement it? You know, you've got to go to work on Monday morning now, and we're going to take this philosophy. How are you going to actually implement it as a leader into your business?
I'll say step by step. Because when you train, you also reach a certain point, you go to more advanced level.
Okay. So how would we relate that back into the workplace? So you're now the CEO of a company, you go in on Monday morning into the office. How are you going to make that philosophy, which is used in sport, which is easy to see, how are you going to make it work in the workplace? There's just one challenge with teaching, and that is that some people don't listen. By example, that's another way. But we need to be, you know, you can't afford to go into the workplace and say to people, right, you don't need to do anything now till Friday. We're going to just spend 4 days a week training. You can't do that. So how else do we make training come alive?
Maybe allow the workforce to idea generation for an hour each day.
Okay, yeah, that would work. That would work. Let them do something different. Let's do it different. Do something different. You've got half a day a week, which allocates you to do anything that you want. 3M do that quite regularly, and I've actually put that in quite a few companies where you just say half a day, let the people work on whatever they want to work on. Any project, as long as it, it's got to be work related. The guys go shopping for half a day.
Inspire your employees with incentive. Inspire your employees with incentive.
With incentive, you could do. But again, when you do incentives are interesting because a lot of people say, reward your employees, give them more money and whatnot. Once you give them that money, the next week they'll want something more. We have to unlock inside them a desire to succeed.
We'll set up some small targets step by step.
Right.
Give plans for the next one.
Small target, smaller projects, different projects which have very specific things that they need to work on, which are still related to work but have direct output. And you start putting that culture in where a leader within the organisation might be a leader on one project, on another project you'll just be a team member. You offer them different roles within the organisation. Obviously within sport it's easier to do because you've got smaller teams. The question I always put to companies is, why can't you do it in companies? Why are companies so big? My model of an ideal organisation is companies that are 70 to 80 people with their own strategic objectives. And within that 70 to 80 people, they have 10 to 15 team members which have their own responsibilities and their own plan. I.e., lots of small organisations that are networked together, as opposed to having a 2,000 strong company which has hierarchical structures and loads of different functions that don't talk to each other. A different concept of how a company might be structured.